Hello KLA members, I'm Aaron Popelka, your Vice President of Legal and Government Affairs, here to give you the final legislative report of the regular 2013 legislative session. The Kansas Legislature adjourned the regular session on April 5th. Although the regular session is over, we do have the veto session May 8th to contend with some outstanding matters that are of significant importance. Those two particular matters are the state's budget and the state's tax policy, neither of which were able to gain final approval during the regular session. The budget, to expect significant cuts across agencies, and there's a lot of work to do yet on that matter, but the budget is significantly tied to the tax plan, which is also stalled. You have two different measures from the House and Senate. The Senate's plan looks very much similar to the one proposed by Governor Brownback earlier in the legislative year. The Senate's plan would hold the sales tax steady at 6.3%. Currently, the sales tax is set to fall to 5.7% on July 1st. The Senate would then, over the next 4 years, drop overall tax rates. The lower bracket would go from 3% at current rates to 1.9%. The upper bracket would go from 4.9% to 3.5%, again over a 4-year period. In addition, as the income tax rates fall in the Senate plan, the amount of itemized deductions available to individuals would also decrease to help pay for those lower rates. On the House side, the House takes a different approach. It keeps allows the sales tax to fall on July 1st to 5.7%. Instead of a set rate cut schedule, the House would instead say that any revenue growth in excess of 2% growth would then go to proportionately buy down rates. Because they're not keeping the sales tax at the 6.3% level, income tax rates wouldn't be expected to fall until the year 2018, and at that point it would only be around the 0.1 percentage point rate cut, so very small. Also, like the Senate plan, the House would also decrease the amount of itemized deductions that could be claimed. So as rates fall, the amount of itemized deductions that individuals can claim would also fall. There, as you can tell, some very large differences in those plans, and those differences will have to be worked out May 8th at the veto session. KLA enjoyed some very successful initiatives, particularly in the area of animal agriculture, with passage of those bills through both the House and Senate. These bills are awaiting the governor's signature, which we expect him to do very soon. A few of the bills that we worked on this session included changing the way wastewater containment structures are permitted. Currently, under current law, any animal facility that has a wastewater structure permitted by KDHE would have to receive not only approval of KDHE, but also a Department of Ag Division of Water Resources dam safety permit. Legislation passed that would allow any KDHE permitted structure that is low hazard to forego obtaining a duplicative DWR permit. In addition, another bill would change how separation distance is, the time when separation distance is determined. Rather than have to wait until a complete application is submitted, members could or will measure the separation distance between a confined feeding facility and habitable structure at the time they register that facility. That will prevent neighbors from gaming the system and moving in RVs and mobile homes during the process of putting together the application. Another initiative that should also benefit animal agriculture is changes to the state's right to farm law. These changes would allow reasonable expansion of existing facilities and limit the amount of damages that can be sought by plaintiffs in nuisance lawsuits against agricultural businesses. Finally, another big success for KLA and our ag colleagues is reform to the state's antitrust legislation. Last year, the Supreme Court significantly changed existing precedent antitrust laws, potentially jeopardizing marketing agreements and arrangements used in the beef industry. Throughout the legislative session, we worked hard to make changes, in particular limit damages from damages that are currently existing, state that any agreement that is subject to regulation under the Packers and Stockyards Act is exempt from the Kansas antitrust laws, and reintroduce a balancing test that balances the pro-competitive and anti-competitive effects of agreement when determining if it's void or legal. And I would be remiss if I forgot to mention that a bill was passed to automatically waive permits for oversized trucks when for hay trucks when drought is declared anywhere in the state. That's a quick rundown of the regular session, and so we look forward to seeing you again following the May 8th, and until that time, have a profitable spring.